Hey guys, we are back with some more Space Engineers. I was doing some stuff off screen. Right now, I just dropped off a whole bunch of iron because we didn't even have enough to. I started making 100 of the heavy blocks, but I noticed that we didn't have enough iron and we didn't have enough cobalt. And why am I still so heavy? Well, anyway, we didn't have enough iron, we didn't have enough cobalt, or nickel. So I'm gonna head out and go get cobalt and nickel as well. But something cool that I wanted to let you guys know about. Let's just leave that floating there for a second. You can take the oxygen. Sorry about the I couldn't remember the name for some reason. You need to leave one in there so that oxygen will still fill and that you can get it from the med bay. But you can take this oxygen and you can put it into the cockpit, and it'll automatically fill your oxygen while you're sitting in here. And also, if it uses that oxygen, when you redock, it'll take from the ice that's in the oxygen generator and refill the bottles for you. So it's like having 3 times your oxygen when you're heading out for the really far away places. It's pretty nice, actually. But I'm going to head out, go get some of the nickel, some of the cobalt, and we will be back. And look, there's a planet right there that is both for us. So I went out and I filled up, and as you can see, my power usage is overloading. My thrusters can't handle this with all the weight. And also, I can't go super fast because you can see how slow rather, I'm slowing down. So I can't really full speed ahead like I did to get out there, or even when I was coming back with the iron from right there on my base. So it takes a bit to inch your way in, but it's still so much faster because, I mean, if you take a look, I didn't even fill up, I thought I did. You can see all this stuff that I have, and even just this right here is over 2 trips. So even if it takes me a bit longer to come back here and actually slot myself on here, it's not that big of a deal. But we have enough now. That'll give us 100 blocks, heavy armor blocks. So that should be enough to at least get the giant ships started. We don't have enough gold, though. Okay, oxygen low. Why aren't you using the tank? It even says oxygen high. But anyway, we don't have enough gold to get the thrusters or anything going. Oh, wait, I was in the right direction. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue, but not so much. Once we park on here, I'll see about maybe attacking an assailant or something like that, try to get more gold off their thrusters. But that's where we stand. I'll be back in a bit. Just a quick little thing. I'm sitting here waiting on everything to finish smelting and crafting and all of that. And I did a little bit of my giant cube. I'm gonna do a tiny bit of decoration to the front and back. But I thought this was cool. You can actually see the sun setting. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that it was that realistic. But over here we're going to have some doors that open and close on both sides so we can pop in on either side. In the center here we're going to have a floor. I may bring up the floor by 2. I had only planned on bringing it up by 1 so we can do piping under the floor. I don't think I can bring it up by 3, though that would be ideal. I may even rip off the roof and rebuild this taller. Because, yeah, we need room for the piping and stuff. And maybe I will just... Yeah, maybe I will bring up the floor so that it's like this tall, that's it. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see. But I'm gonna start moving some stuff in here as soon as I get the floor down. I will try ripping up all of this and fitting it in here and seeing how the piping works and if we need to adjust anything. So that's when we'll actually find out. We're also gonna be making an arc furnace, which it's like a refinery, but it doesn't burn everything. Like, I think it does iron, nickel, and cobalt only. But it also burns faster, and it's much, much cheaper than a refinery. So I'll probably throw like 2 or 3 in here because those are my main materials. Maybe even 4, and then just do 2 refineries for the uranium, the gold, the silver. But yeah, and also assemblers can be put into something called cooperative mode, which means that if you have, say, 6 assemblers, it'll produce it 6 times as fast, as long as they're connected. So I'll probably be making some more assemblers too, assuming they don't need gold. And this thing will be up and running minus thrusters, which we will need to get our hands on. A lot of gold to be able to do that. I've been keeping my eye out, but that raiding station's the only thing that's popped up. Oh, the other change. I put a battery here and I full charged it. So as you can see here, if I toggle it, it's fully charged. This way here, if we run out of uranium like we did last time, we don't have to wait and hope for an assailant or something. We can just pop that after we harvest some uranium. But yeah, so bunch of changes, just kind of waiting around at this point. As you can see, the assembler is still tearing through all the, what was it, 100 that I told it to make, or 1,000, I don't even know. Way too many. I don't think it was 1,000, but way too many. And you can see the refinery still trying to work through what I brought back. I mean, it hasn't even gotten to the iron, the nickel, the cobalt. We really need the cobalt. We need 1,500 cobalt to finish, so we need another 750. So it's just a waiting game at this point, and I'll be back when the waiting game is over. So I just realized how dumb I was being. I just converted my ship to be a welder instead of a miner. Now there is a bit of a problem with this. One, it has a big opening on the back, which big openings don't attach to the little openings, which the front of this is a little opening for the miner. So it doesn't connect, so I have to physically click on there and put my stuff in. But all I have to do now is... okay, there we go. Wow, I'm so full that it's having a hard time floating up. But anyway, so we open this up, and instead of that, we put a welder. And we can not see. Okay, so we bring this over. We can turn it on, which it's on right now. And since it's hard to see, can we... Ah, there we go. I can tilt it up. It doesn't really give me an angle for up and down. There. See? So now I don't have to worry about having all the stuff and if it's full and yada yada yada. Okay, I wasn't meaning to do that top one, but we'll take it. Let's see if I can swing around this without crashing. But yeah, so now I have a crafting ship, which this is not really a crafting ship. I mean, I just threw it onto my miner one. I'd totally change this if I was going to keep it. I'd need it to hook up, for one, and for two, I'd need to be able to see, because as I'm sure you can guess, this right here is severely annoying. But I also have to make sure that I have enough of the materials, so every now and then I have to keep checking to make sure I'm not running out of metal grit or anything. But yeah, this should make this a lot faster, and I will keep working on this. Well guys, there have been a lot of changes, as you can tell. I'm currently ripping up my assemblers and all of that, and trying to shove them in back here. As you can see, I've got 4 assemblers, I've got the big cargo container, I've got a refinery, I don't have my arc furnaces back and all of that yet, but I'm slowly fixing things in. I'm going to put some gyroscopes down under the floor there, some more up above. Maybe move them down if that's too many, but 2 is definitely not enough. I have turned my ship from a cockpit oriented into a remote control, so that allows it to carry quite a bit more. Yeah, I've been hard at work. Let's go take a look at my giant brick from outside. I'm just going to do it this way. I've got, of course, my doors can open and close from here. As you can see, we've got plenty of thrust, but it's still not enough. We're going to need even more because this thing moves at like -2 miles per hour. So we've got a bit more to do there. We'll go ahead and open up that door because we can. And from here we can also remote control to our ship. And now I would be able to, as you can see, up at the top of the screen is the drill. I can turn it on, turn it off. I've got a rear view, a down view, so I can park it on here. I've got complete control over the lights. I could even turn off the reactors if I wanted to. Not a good idea, because then I lose the remote control, and then I have to come back out here and manually turn back on the reactors, so not something I really want to do. But yeah, this is the giant brick. We've already left our area. I had to take out a couple of ships just to be able to get the thrusters. I still have not found gold. And all of this that you see has taken me approximately a week of gaming. I don't like the way this turned out. I did have actual like control chair here, and I'm gonna go back to that. But I was wasting way too much ice, and I didn't want to have to go out and make a run for ice before this thing could move. So I had to remove the air vent and turn it into that so that I could constantly stay full energy and oxygen while I was out mining with that. I think I covered all of the changes, and like I said, there's going to be plenty more in here. I gotta get the floor back in. I think I'm going to go with glass so you can look down and see all the piping and stuff, and I can explain it to you guys once it's ready. But yeah, we will be back. So we are here. I have finished creating all this stuff. I left this undone. We didn't go with glass, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I had realized something, and I don't remember if I told you guys or not. But apparently, just like an assembler, if it needs, we'll say, iron, it'll pull it from the refinery or from the cargo container. The refinery will also pull ore. You don't need to sort it out. It'll pull what it can do. Same thing with the arc furnaces, which are right down there below me. They'll automatically pull the iron ore, cobalt, nickel that they can do. So I'm going to walk through what I've done here, and then I will cut out, smelt all these things, weld all these things. Couldn't think of the word weld. Sorry about that. But anyway, we've got 4 assemblers for 4 times speed for crafting. They're all in cooperative mode. We've got a refinery for uranium because, well, that's pretty much all it's good for. I mean, of course, magnesium and gold, but I can't even find gold. Silver I'm good on, silicon, etc. So I only have 1 because the main things are the cobalt, the nickel, and the iron. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 arc furnaces right down there, all hooked up to the cargo container. We have the cargo container leading over here to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 reactors, because the power was definitely needed, and we're going to need even more most likely, so I've got that left open-ended, so I can even curve more reactors over and around in that area. So that's nice. Over here we have an air vent, so I have my helmet off right now, and apparently if you open the door with the air still on, it really uses the ice. I used over 1,000 ice in less than 10 seconds. So that was bad. I had to go get some more ice, which is why we're parked in a new area. Though you guys can't tell because we're inside. But anyway, so we've got 2 air vents to make sure that we can turn off the air and then turn it back on when the doors are closed, and this will fill up with air nice and quickly. We went back to a control in here since we now have an airflow everywhere, including in here. We close this door. We close the... Thank you. And as you can see, I can turn on and off with 7, the air vents, and I can open the left and right doors with 1 and 4. Now 2 is the remote control to be able to take control of my miner. So we're not going to do that right now. Let's keep looking. So we've got a conveyor sorter right there, as you can see. Now that means that if I land with my miner right on top of here, it'll suck everything out and put it through into the cargo, which is super nice. Now this one over here, as you can see, does not have a sorter, which means that this is not a one-way street. So if I were to make a welder, which my plan was next, just to make a little welder like this in case there's any kind of damage, I can park it on top, pull through while sitting in the ship, pull through anything that I need from the cargo container, craft anything from this, put it all in, fly it out, repair anything, land it back down, and put everything back. Or even land on this one and have it all be sucked out on its own. Sorry about that. Tripped on my words because I feel like I have to cough. But anyway, so we've got air. We've got an ore detector over here now, which is nice. So if we get really close to a planet, I can see if it has... an asteroid, I can see if it has any gold on it. And we've, of course, got the medical room. The air is right there. Yeah, it's all right here. We've got everything that we could possibly need. I did add in the extra gyroscopes. And even with those, we're gonna come on over here. See how slow it still goes with 10 gyroscopes. So you guys can imagine how bad it was when I only had the 2. But yeah, switch our view. Let's head closer to the asteroid so you guys can see what I was talking about. Yeah, see, the ice is already popping up there. And as you can see, this thing is the fastest thing ever in existence. But yeah, if I just bring it over and close, though it'll take forever to slow down, we can see silver, iron, ice. No gold, but still nice that we can, you know, just pop over here, see what's in here, in case I miss something, because I was just using my little drill ore detector, which isn't exactly the greatest. Oh, see, there's uranium in there. I didn't even know there was uranium in there. But, yeah. So once this thing stops, whatever. We don't have to wait for it to stop. But yeah, I'm going to weld all this. I don't know. I keep saying bad habit. I'll probably be making the welder next, but I want to get all this floor done. I already have all the metal plate done, I believe. It has finished, yes. Yep, here we go. This is exactly the amount that I'll need to do the entire floor. So I will be back once the floor is done and we can start on the welder. Well guys, we have a military escort heading right for us. This thing was like 9 kilometers away and it started closing fast, so I'm just trying to hide underneath this asteroid and hopefully be saved. But I figured if I'm about to lose my main base, you guys would want to see and be able to laugh at me. So I'm currently positioning myself underneath this in hopes that it'll leave me alone. But yeah, it's closing pretty quick, and it's coming like right at me, which definitely worries me. Up a little more. Gotta be careful that I don't go too fast since this thing has... Oops. Okay, well, people are bugging me on Discord. Sorry, this was kind of an impromptu recording. I saw him coming. I went, oh crap. Figured you guys might want to see what happens. He may just pass me by. It may just be coincidence that he was coming right for me, but I don't have my fighter made. I don't have any of that stuff. And I'm really hoping whoever's bugging me on Discord doesn't spam me, so you guys don't have to hear that. But I got really, really worried, and it looks like he's just going to pass me by. Alright. Well, that was an uneventful recording. Maybe I'll just cut it out. We talked about this before, and I was just about to build my welder ship. And, yeah, you can't just straight place this on because of a few reasons. One, this will end up being a large ship, and we don't want a large ship, we want a small one. So you could just pop down, and then off of that, you can just make little... I mean, I could have made this closer, I was just dumb. Little bits like this that go over to the connector, and that should actually be close enough. Nope, apparently not, because we want to build it. I mean, I could even just put it right on the side right here and boom, but if I wanted to actually line it up on there, I'd have to make like a skeleton area over. And now that I have this here, this can be the base of the ship. So then we could start building everything on top of it just like we did here. But I know I brought it up before, but I didn't actually like show it done. And that's how you do it to be able to make a small ship without the landing gear to be able to land it on the connector. So I'm going to get to building this and we will be back. Since I'm recommending this game, I figure I should tell you guys about the downsides to it as well. Now, this right here is a huge downside, and I can't find anywhere online that explains to me why this won't work. So, on the sides I've got a tiny little compartment, and then on the bottom I've got a tiny little compartment. And these two connected together doesn't work. So, I have no idea why. I have not been able to find out. At first I thought maybe it wasn't powered because you can't pull anything from the connector without power. But even after powering this, I've run into this problem on many of my ships, even when me and Dick had our world together. This should work. They're connected. But for some reason it doesn't work. And I can't figure out why. It's a very simple connection. But that should have been able to drain the items out while keeping this front. Because unlike the miner here that uses the tiny little windows, the grinder and the welder, sorry, brain fart, both use the big doors. So we need this attachment for right there. Yeah, just figured I'd let you guys know about the downside as well. Well, as you can see, you can ignore my previous statement. They both lit up yellow as soon as they had power. So this must have been a bug before. Now, you have to understand, when I was playing with Dick, it was about a month ago. So that's why I was sitting here and I go, you know, I just said this, maybe it's not a thing anymore. So I decided to come on here, and to get it on, I assumed it wouldn't work. But now that it does, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to build this with it floating around in here. Speaking of which, we have artificial gravity. If I turn off my jetpack, why is that? Okay, well, anyway. But yeah, if I power it, it seems to work. So I can't really say too much. I can put some, see, but I can't put it into the connector. Yep, okay. It says it's connected, so it is still broken. But this used to stay red. It's a step in the right direction. It's acknowledging a connection. But if I put something in there, I can't put it to the connector. It won't go through. How about vice versa? If I put something in the connector, I can put it in. See, this is really weird. Well, it partially works. But this would mean that if I had a whole bunch of stuff in here that was left over from my welding, you know what, get away from there. Just bump into it a little bit. Get away from the wall. But if I had a bunch of stuff left over from welding and I tried to put it on here to get it sucked out, it shouldn't be able to pull it through there then, if this can't go to the connector. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'll play with it a little more. I'm probably gonna have to rebuild it at this point because I let it free. But, oh, that's actually not a bad spot. I could probably finish building it there. But yeah, it works, kinda. It's definitely a step in the right direction, which is kind of a cool thing to see. Now, if you guys followed me since Minecraft, you know I bitch about bugs. I mean, bitch about bugs. It ruins a game. And these guys seem to be on top of their shit. You know, they're trying to fix it. They're trying to make a better game. And props to them for that. Okay, well, it looks like it's stuck. But that works for me. I can totally finish building it there. And yeah, we will be back once we have a fully done ship, and that'll probably be it for today. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've got accomplished. Alright, here we go. The only thing that we're missing is the actual welder on the front, or grinder. That's the beauty of this one, is that it could be either or. So I changed up so that I could add more reactors to the side that would auto draw from the cargo or the connector. This way here I could keep everything at full uranium at all times easily enough. But because it's not powered, nothing will come out of there, even though I have just under 20 in there. So what we need to do is come over here, put just a little something in there, and while that's burning, as you can see, that'll filter out. Now that everything's powered, we can grab that out of there. We can destroy this one. And we can put that little bit that we had in here for it to spread out through the other reactors. And there you go. As you can see, the uranium is passing through. Because all the uranium's in this, which means that it's going through the connector to be able to go there and there. So I don't know why we can't drag things through the connector. I really just, I don't understand. There's some things that are still a little buggy and glitchy, but overall, I'd say this is pretty nice. I'm definitely enjoying the game, and I'd like to hear if you guys are as well. If you guys are playing this, let me know down in the comments what you think of this. But yeah, let's throw on this grinder and we will call it a day. Yeah, I decided I'm going to go with a grinder by default, but I can always take it off and put on a different one. But the reason being is I see myself destroying pirate ships more often than I see me needing to repair my own ship. Oh, we need 3 more motors. Oh, and that's another small complaint of mine. When you create something, you can't set it to small ship, large ship, because it takes different amounts of the components. It's the same components, but for instance, to make a small thruster for a large ship, which is what it is by default trying to make it for, it'll give you 80 thruster components. These little things, as you can see, only need 1. So when I crafted 1 small thruster, I had more than enough to craft every single thruster on this ship. So it's a small complaint, but it's still a complaint. And yeah, so it's hooked up on the back here, as you can kind of see right there. So this way here, it'll automatically draw from the cargo container, which we can fill by parking this beast right on here, pulling out some steel plate. And maybe I'll show you guys that real quick. Here, let's just put a light armor block down right there. We'll destroy that. Oh, that's a grinder. Right, that's a grinder. So we'll fully craft it. And we need something stationary. Ah, here we go. We can then control off the remote control. That's that one. It's got the antenna. Small grid. There we go. So that's this. We haven't renamed it yet. And then there's the remote control. And then we hit control. And I don't have... Oh, crap. I don't have any cameras on it. We'll be right back. Alright, we've set everything up now. And I realize that if you are new, you may not understand how to do some of these things. So up here, anything within range of my antenna, I can go ahead and connect to. So I just connected to Small Grid 3981, which is what we just built. So I'm going to rename it grinder slash welder. Alright, so that's my grinder and welder ship. So if I go back to ship, grinder and welder, there it is. Now the reason that you don't see my mining ship is because it's actually docked through the connector right now, so it's part of the main ship. Alright, so first things first, the antenna, we want 5,000 meters, just to be sure we never get out of range. We don't need to show the ship name. So we can go to remote control now, we can control it, and now that we're here, we need to set some things up. So first off, we need the cameras. So let's view camera 1. Which one are we looking at? So close that out. Okay, this is the rear camera. So we want to rename this. Get out of there. Thank you. So camera 1, I'm going to rename as rear. View it. There's rear. So of course we don't want rear on number 1. So we're going to move that. I want rear as number 5, or number 4. Yeah, I can count, trust me. So we're going to check camera 2. Camera 2 appears to be, yep, it's the front, which is exactly where we wanted it, was right there. So camera 2, I'm going to rename, just like this, to front. And camera 3, I know exactly what that one is. Process of elimination, that's the bottom. So we can view now, look around, and there's our camera 3. So we want to have the bottom one down on here, but we also want to have our grinder. We won't need anything else. So we're going to have this toggle the block on and off. We will switch to our front camera. I don't even see the grinder. Oh crap, am I in reverse? Wait, I think that's the grinder that I'm seeing, like right there. Oh crap, I think we're in reverse. I'm gonna aim the grinder at it, and if so, then our remote control is actually backwards. And that means that our cameras are backwards. And it's gonna be a whole slew of problems, but let's go see. Alright, let's get out of all that. Ah, crap. Okay, so here's the thing. The remote control in here is actually what decides what direction is what. So right now, everything's perfect except it's in reverse. So we're just going to break this down. And I always forget which direction it needs to be. So switch bars. There's my remote control. And just rotate it around. Oh wait, that's the wrong direction. That would have been bad. Oh, that would have been bad. Everything would have been screwed up at that point. Now, unfortunately, every time that you break the remote control, you reset your bar that I was just working on, which means what I just did would be missing, so I'm going to go back through, and the only thing that really needs to change, so like here, we go here, we go to the grinder welder, we go to remote control 2, which we will rename. The other one is period remote control, so we'll just call it remote control welder. So we'll control it. We then need to change front and back because they are reversed. Back. Oh, well, I did rear before. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And front. Alright, so then we can close this out. We can open this back up. Front we now know is that. We want to view it when we click it. Back we now know is that. View when we click it. Bottom. And turn on off. And there you go. Now you've got the full thing set up, and as you can see, I've got my grinder and everything here. I didn't put any spotlights on it yet, but I plan to. And I just grinded that up. And if you look, 25 steel plate we just got. It's still filtering all this in, and I don't want to dock it until after it's filtered it all into reactors, because otherwise, oh wait, this is a different one. See, I'm not used to that. That one there would suck out all the uranium. This one here may still. Yeah, I'm not willing to chance it. Those reactors down there may try to steal it from this. And I'm just not having that. So I'm going to wait for this to go before parking it down, but you guys know how all that works. I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked that we've got this. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been all, and I will catch you guys next time.